Hi, and welcome to ICAN Become. My name is Diarra, and I'm 14 years old. I live in Portland, Oregon, and I love to dance ballet and play basketball. When I grow up, I want to be a leader. I really want to know more about holding a position of leadership, so my friends at ICAN Radio have arranged for me to talk to Tonia Jones, the Vice President/General Manager of Jordan Women's Streetwear. So let's get into the interview. Welcome to ICAN Become.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I work for Jordan brand. My role is Vice President of Global Women's Streetwear. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, but I currently live in Portland, Oregon.
Tell us about your journey and how you got to where you are today.
Right out of college, I started working for Nike. Well, pretty much moved 5 times for the company. I've lived in Memphis, New York, Chicago, and Portland twice. I've been here since March of 2020.
Did you have a favorite place that you lived?
Tampa, Florida for the weather. However, New York made me who I am today. That, for me, gave me the level of responsibility. I learned how to adjust to life on my own without my parents around. New York just really made me grow up as a woman.
Do you have a favorite pair of Jordans?
There's AJ1, Melody Asani. She has been instrumental in paving the way for women in the sneaker space, and we did a collaboration with her. It's been amazing, and she's just somebody that I truly admire, and I love her shoes.
What was your biggest fear as a teenager, and how has that changed now?
Although I was a captain of the cheerleader squad, I was performing in front of large groups of people. I always felt as though speaking in public, people would criticize me and really take small looks at me and judge me. And I wore glasses, thick glasses at the time, and contacts were just not a thing. So I wore glasses, so I was very self-conscious about that. So yeah. But now I'm talking to you. So although public speaking, no matter how often you do it, you get nervous and you're fearful, but it gets better over time.
Did you always see yourself in this career path?
I always saw myself as a leader. Maybe not this career path, because I went to college for electrical engineering. I love math. I love putting things together. But then things happen, life happened, and I changed to business management. So I didn't start off with this career path, but I'm truly grateful of where I've landed.
What draws you to leadership, and how did you engage with that growing up?
I was a cheerleader. I was a captain of a cheerleader. So I always felt like I had some type of leadership capabilities. And I also loved, or I gravitated towards mentoring or bringing other people that just wanted to confide in me. I built solid relationships, and I just had the attitude and the momentum and the inspiration to just always want to help people.
Can you walk us through a typical workday?
So I wake up every day trying to figure out how I can make a difference in someone's life, or how I can lead. How can I lead a legacy? Because I lead Jordan Women's, I always have to think about ladies such as yourself, of how I can speak for her in places where she isn't. So I am truly grateful to have a voice at the table.
Why do you think it's so important for women to have a seat at the table?
Women should always have a seat at the table. Every day, as a woman, as a girl, we're always wanting to be equal. And unfortunately, when you think about, even now, there are some conversations around equity and being equal. Unfortunately, it's not happening today. So I want to be able to have that voice at the table and be able to speak about it, because I believe in it. I truly, truly believe in women should have a seat at the table all the time.
How do you think we can get more women involved in historically male-dominated industries?
So I can actually speak to this as an example. Growing up throughout my career, I worked in sales. Sales is a male-dominated industry. I made sure that I had a voice. I wouldn't say force myself, but I would always speak There were times where I didn't have a voice, or sometimes I could say something and my male counterpart would say the exact same thing, and they would acknowledge them. I would make sure that not only would I acknowledge that of what just happened, but I would make sure that I would say something to them to acknowledge and call it out.
How do you keep track of everything you have to do in a day?
Well, I write everything down. I cannot depend on my memory because I'll forget. I'll forget something that happens after like 5 minutes after a conversation. So I write everything down. I use my iPad, and I use voice notes too on my phone.
You've worked at Nike for 34 plus years. What are some of the benefits of working at an institution for such a long time?
I would definitely have to say the relationships that I've built over time. And I have the opportunity of not only building those relationships, but being able to use those relationships if I need something, or if I have a question, or if I'm going through a challenge at work. I've built those solid relationships. We call those trusted advisors. I can always rely on those relationships, and I can call those people whenever I have something that even I'm going through something, or if I have an opportunity or something that I need to run past them.
Tell me about a time you were discriminated against or felt that you didn't belong as a Black woman.
Well, I grew up in the sales industry in Memphis, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Kentucky. Historically, those are not areas where a Black female or a Black person would go. Let me preface this and say this was over 25 years ago. There were times where I could not enter the front of an account or retailer or store that I was going to, but I knew that I worked for a company that supported diversity, inclusion. So it's been tough throughout my tenure or throughout my career. I wasn't able to enter certain rooms, but I knew that I stood for something bigger and better.
Tell me about what draws you to fashion and shoes.
You know what? I think it started with my mom, and she always wanted me to wear the cutest clothes. So I just took that same mentality, and I've always made sure that I always dress my best. And I strongly believe in dressing how you want to be addressed. I want to be taken seriously, and I've always just been into fashion. Even today, I attend New York Fashion Week. I go to Paris Fashion Week, and I'm very much in tune with all the things that are related to fashion.
What do you think makes self-expression through fashion so important?
Fashion is a statement in terms of there's a difference between styling and actually wearing your clothes. It's all about how you style it and your expression and the statement that you want to achieve.
What are some of your favorite things to enjoy outside of working?
Ooh, shopping. I did say shopping. And I also like traveling. I love spending time with my friends. I love going home, visiting my friends, spending time with my mom, because I'm here. My mom is in Memphis. I'm here in Portland, Oregon, so I don't really get a chance to spend as much time with her as I like. So I love going home and valuing that time.
What's been your favorite moment as a leader?
That I get to speak to ladies like you. The fact that I'm mentoring and I know that I'm leaving a legacy behind. The fact that people trust me so that they want my advice. And I feel as though I have a responsibility to give back to them, to be there for them. What's 30 minutes or an hour to give someone? I make sure that I'm present and I'm engaged in those conversations and being able to give back in that way.
What's a challenge you faced as a leader?
Some of the decisions that I make, they're tough decisions, and they can have a significant impact on others. So I make sure that I hold those decisions very seriously, and it's tough sometimes knowing that I deal with conflict. So I make sure that those decisions that I make, that I am very thoughtful in that way.
What piece of advice would you give the next generation of leaders?
It's okay to be vulnerable. We're always taught that we have to be strong. We can't have a bad day. It's okay to be vulnerable. And it doesn't mean that you're weak. It's letting people in and letting them know that you're human. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be happy. I want to be someone who inspires others and uplifts them and shows them how beautiful they are.
Is there an occupation that you're interested in?
I like the idea of having a role of leadership within a company like vice president or president. I've always kind of been interested in like the modeling industry. I'm also a ballet dancer, so I'm really drawn to like arts and the more creative side of things, but I also like love math and science. So just, I don't know, something that fuses the two of those together.
So guess what? You have art and science. You can do anything. Whatever you decide to do, you can do it.
Thank you. I have a small nonprofit called Kennel Kids that I started in 2019 when I was 9, just because I've always loved animals. And so I was just so sad that these animals had to spend their lives in shelters, you know, because of maybe poor decisions that they didn't make. So it's like, I want to do something about this. And so I was like, I love to write. So I started a newsletter, Green Paws, that talks about climate change and animals and pets, and half of the money we make every month goes to local animal shelters.
That's beautiful. Any challenges you face being an entrepreneur?
I would say like teamwork is always really hard to juggle because it's hard to, you know, keep yourself to the same expectations that you're setting for everyone else and making sure that that's fair and making sure that, you know, you have to sometimes make decisions, tough decisions that benefit you and your company when things aren't working out.
You know what I love about, you made me think about teamwork. I think about the Jordan brand and how family culture is so important, and it's rooted in everything that we do. So when I think about teamwork and understanding the differences between those teams and different people on your team, as long as you promote the family culture and understanding the importance and the diversity of thought within your teammates, that makes the world of difference.
I agree. I think that the different perspectives are really what make something, such a project, so beautiful and really what makes it powerful. Tell me about your team.
I have an amazing team. What I love about my team, they come from all walks of life, and they're all passionate about one thing, and that's advancing equity for women. Also, what I love about them is that they come and they have all different ideas, and we talk about it, and we're excited about it, and we want to do things for the benefit of Jordan. I am nothing without my team, absolutely nothing. I want everyone on my team to win, and I want them to shine. What has been out, you said the teamwork has been a challenge. Is there anything else?
Not giving up. I had the idea of doing a subscription box with the newsletter and some dog treats and toys and environmentally friendly goodies, and I launched it. I worked all summer on it. One person ordered it, and that was very deflating, and I was like, you know, I really thought this was such a good idea, but I was like, let me try again around the holidays, you know, that's a time, and then got 16 orders that time.
Look at that.
Just the persistence really,
That's another thing. You asked me what piece of advice would I give you. Do not give up. Be bold. Take those risks. And if they don't work, you try again. That's what I've learned in my over 34 years of experience. You can't win them all, but the ones that you do, you celebrate those. And then the other ones that you don't win, view those as opportunities and set it up, learn from them, and you move on.
Thank you for coming in today.
You're most welcome. Anytime.
Thank you for listening to ICAN Become with me, Diarra. Today I learned how valuable teamwork is and how important it is to rely on your teammates. I also learned that as a leader, it's important to think of the long-term effects of your actions and the legacy you're leaving behind. What do you want to become when you grow up? Why not tell my friends at ICAN? Just visit icanradio.org and let them know, and maybe you could interview someone cool, just like I did. I wanted to thank my guest, Tonia Jones. Because of you, I now know I can become a leader. Tune in next time when Nolan learns what skills it takes to become a sports announcer.